Dun, dun, dun.
Hello, hello.
Hello, beloved customer, and welcome to Septic Guys No Shit. As always, I'm your little friend, the head of the tabletop, the hero of the hookah, and your chief apparitions officer and the man with no face, Ruben. To my far left, we have the Clinchstermeister, our magnetic musician. He has ghost credit, and he is our Omega Predator and the Frozen Liberator, Ethan.
What up? Yo,
And then my sweet boy, Harold Goose.
HW. I'm sorry. HG.
He's not the president.
HW?
Yeah.
From There Will Be Blood?
George Herbert Walker Bush?
No. Have you seen the movie There Will Be Blood?
No.
Okay. You should go watch that. It's a 2-hour long movie. It's an oil movie.
Okay.
It's about old school oil.
Okay.
Early on in the movie, main character, Daniel Day-Lewis's character, is with a group of guys. They're drilling for oil, and the father passes. He gets hit with a bucket. Bucket falls on his head, and it causes a problem. Am I too loud?
No, I'm hearing something weird in my headphones.
It's like every time we talk, it does something weird. You hearing that too?
Yeah, I'm hearing it when our mics are going. I wonder if it's picking up the wind out there.
That'd be great.
Let me try and shut the door a little better.
Okay. While you're doing that. So, yeah. Father of one of the guys ends up passing, and he has a young son named HW. And HW becomes his associate because the mom has passed away. I think either the mom passes away at some point in time that he takes care of the child. Okay. So, Harold Goose, HG. So I go back and forth between that. Anyway, great movie.
Yeah, I thought you meant the president.
Nope. No, I wouldn't know the president's middle name. I don't know what's going on. We haven't used this in a while.
I mean, it's only been like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So the other day, this happened like a couple of years ago, and I don't know if I've ever brought this up to you before. The wife and I had a conversation about driving and how we kind of think that, now she may disagree on some of the semantics of it, but in general, we came up with this idea that people need to be tested every 5 years on their driving skills. So you get your license at 16. Your license goes from vertical to horizontal at 21. And then every 5 years after 21, you take a driving test.
Okay.
To ensure that you remember that the driving rule is on the highway. You stay on the right lane to cruise, left lane to pass. You understand that you fully stop at a stop sign, that you use your blinkers whenever you're turning, those practical kind of skills, how to use a roundabout, how to use a clover leaf, how to get onto an on-ramp, or how to use an on-ramp to get onto the highway, what the right lane person is supposed to do when someone's getting onto the highway from the on-ramp. Those kind of things.
So you want to well, then we're going to need to revamp like all of the driving tests from the jump.
Right. Well, I think there's a part of me that kind of feels like the original driving test is fine. Everybody goes through and does the whole paper thing, and then sometimes I think you have an actual physical driving test that you do.
No, yeah, you got to take a physical driving test at 16.
Okay. I didn't have to at 16.
I
did a physical driving school that allowed me to pass, so I didn't have to do that.
Well, they might have changed the rules because I also did a driving school and then had to take a test.
Interesting. Yeah, I did not have to take a test.
Yep, I missed 2 points on it.
Wow.
just because I had to try and parallel park my high school rig,
Oh yeah,
and I got it kind of sideways instead of perfectly straight.
that's a pretty big rig to try and parallel park.
Hey, it was very funny when the small woman that came to administer my test came out and was like, "Oh God, I can't get in your truck," and I was like, "It's okay, I got a little step stool." So I pulled out the step stool for her.
Nice, very nice. But I was getting a lot of this actually came from me from the time that I spent in Costa Rica. One of the major cities there, San Jose, Costa Rica, has certain days of the week that certain license plate ending numbers are allowed to be in the major city. They used it as a form of regulation because they had too many cars, not enough places for people to park their cars.
Okay.
Now, granted, they also have a really big infrastructure for public transit. So they have buses, they have small little trains, lots of buses, enough buses to keep things moving. And I kind of took that as an idea of, well, let's be honest, if I want better drivers on the road,
We need less drivers on the road.
we need less drivers on the road. And if you don't pass your driving test after the 5 years, you have to go to a driving school. And then if you still don't get it, then if you have to go to the driving school, then you have a provisionary license. And you're not allowed on certain roads like a highway, and you have to stay within the city. Yeah, I know. I'm getting really obnoxious with it.
You're like shutting down people's lives.
But the whole purpose, but that's where public transit or ride sharing or riding with a coworker,
Hey, you're just making jobs.
I'm making jobs. I think it's a great opportunity.
I think at least one or two of the people we work with would lose their job here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And hey, if you're watching this, you know who you are.
Drive better. Do a better job at driving.
I don't know what to tell you.
Because CDL, you have to keep it up every year.
Yeah, but you don't have to take a test or anything like that.
No, but you have to keep up physical form to be able to drive. Quote unquote.
Your DOT car, your medical license is every 2.
Okay.
Yep, that's every 2. And then there is, yeah, I mean, that's about it. Keep it up, and then theoretically, if you develop diabetes or sleep apnea or something, you have to bring in other paperwork when you go to get your .med card.
Or have narcolepsy.
Or have narcolepsy.
I don't know. I just felt like it was an interesting thought to have. What could we do to help our roads be better, be safer for everybody?
Yeah, I mean, that it is an idea, and I don't hate it. You are creating a new industry.
I absolutely think
Adult driving schools.
Yeah.
So, are you gonna make them drive with a buddy in the car, and then one of the the person who runs the school, or they've got the special brake system on their side and all that?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So you're basically bumping them back down to a permit.
Yeah, and then what happens? The provisionary license. What that means is that, at least this is what I saw in other foreign countries. I think they do it a little bit in France, and I may be corrected. That's fine. You have for a certain amount of time, you have an A, kind of like the scarlet letter A, on the back of your car. But as you are learning to drive or your provisionary license, you don't have a full license yet. Because if you have a license that has too many points, your license get revoked here because of tickets or what have you. So I kind of figured, well, let's apply the same concept to if you can actually functionally drive on the road.
Yeah. One of the things I was thinking about here recently with something similar to that is I do think here in 3 or 4 years, probably 4, maybe 5, it'll kind of depend on the elections that are coming up.
Most F.
People are going to start getting E's or G's on their licenses.
E for
electric.
G for gas. Okay,
Yep. And
I can
so
see
then
that.
if you have a gasoline vehicle, you have to pay more for your registration and stuff.
I understand that.
Start making it to where people are hurting a little bit to keep driving their gas car, so they switch over to electric. That's how I think. That is personally my own pet theory on how they're going to get the American population to move to electric vehicles.
Yeah, but I feel like there's got to be more change in the infrastructure to be able to deal with it. Like
They don't care about that.
they should.
Well, that's how they're going to
Way
pay
to
for
create
it.
jobs, but whatever.
That's how they're going to pay for it.
I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Is that
Base-
you or the dog or the chair?
No, that's my water bottle.
Got it.
It's under my foot.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I think that's how they'll probably pay for it, is that they'll start just basically charging you a luxury tax to own a gasoline vehicle.
What about an eco gas vehicle? Like something that has like one of those EcoBoost kind of things.
It's in the middle.
It's in the middle, so you'll get like maybe there's a middle charge. It's not the most expensive
they
for
won't
gas,
charge.
but
Yep.
it's not eco
Yep.
or not electric.
So yeah, if you're still bumping that 99 Toyota Corolla, you're paying more than the guy who's got a Chevy Bolt.
So then are they going to, do you think, well, it probably won't happen, but I have to ask because that's where my brain went. Do you think they'll go through and they'll make cars that are low end? I say low end. Like, okay, so you know how there's different models of cars? Base model, middle tier, high tier?
Yes.
Are they going to make different models of cars that will be entry level for electric?
That is the hope and goal. Tesla has always said that their plan is to make an electric vehicle that's $30,000.
Wow.
And that's what we're seeing with the Slate pickup truck.
That is true.
Shout out Slate.
That's a really good looking truck. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, I would love to own one.
I'm not really EV guy, but I would drive that truck.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
I don't think it's necessarily fallen. I think it's... Look, I've been changing.
For
What
the
can I
last
say?
5 years, I just haven't been noticing.
Apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, next thing I know, you're going to be talking about how you're paying into a deal to be able to get frozen.
Nope. Not going to do that. Mm-mm. I won't change on that one.
No? Not
That's
at
a
all?
long term. That's a very long term thought. Like I can't think that far ahead anymore.
Oh, okay.
I used to be able to, and now I can't. My brain hurts.
Your brain hurt too bad?
My brain hurt too bad.
I see. Well, let me bend it a little bit more.
Okay.
Because talking about government rollouts,
Here we go.
do you know what we were up to in like 2001, 2003, somewhere in that range? Do you know what America decided to go do? Do you remember post 9/11?
I was underneath a desk
Why?
because it was 9/11.
No, I'm asking after that.
Oh.
What America as a government, what we did.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. What 2 wars did we go fight?
Oh, something about oil and gas, right?
Well, where did we go?
Afghanistan?
Yes.
Oh,
That's what we're going to be for some of the episodes today.
we're going to one of the stands.
Yes, we are going to a stand because this is part 3 of our giant series, and this will probably be the last installment for a while. Maybe we'll pick it back up, maybe we won't. I don't know. And we are going to the mountain region known as Kandahar.
It's maybe the dishwasher.
It sure could be. I'm still hearing it a little bit when I talk, but
Yeah, it's
that's
just
okay.
fuzzy. I don't understand.
I don't know.
Is it not
Maybe
plugged in all the way?
I don't know. Maybe someone put a fuzz pedal on our board and we just didn't notice.
Anyway,
Exactly.
sorry.
So we're going to the Kandahar region of Afghanistan now. What do you know about Afghanistan, Ethan? Go ahead and give us a geography lesson. Just look. This is not a. Oh, Ethan's so dumb. He doesn't know anything about Afghanistan. Just give us everything you got.
It's in the east.
Yeah. Would you say upper, middle, or lower east?
Middle.
Yeah, there you go.
It's surrounded by mountain ranges. I don't know what mountain range, but it's surrounded by mountain ranges. There is Afghanistan the one that has Azerbaijan?
No, Azerbaijan's its own country.
Well, thank you. There we
Yeah.
go. But doesn't it border?
Probably. No, I think that was Iraq that you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of Iraq.
Yeah, because you're thinking of Bushby there.
Yeah. Old Bush.
I wonder what he's up to.
Probably shooting a shotgun.
Is he known for shooting shotguns?
I don't know. He's a Texas guy. I kind of assumed that he was doing something with a shotgun.
No, he's British.
Oh, you said Bushby.
Yeah.
I heard Bushby, and my brain went Bush. Sorry. Yeah, Carl Bushby. What are you doing right now, bro?
Yeah, we can take a break. Jan 10, 2026, the BBC. Adventurers mixed feelings as journey nears end.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's
You
not.
just don't want to go home. You don't want to go home. You don't want to reconnect with your family.
Where is now Carl Bushby? Thanks, Google. Yeah.
Yeah. Whole.
Conquering continents on foot. Carl Bushby. By September 26.
How is he still doing it?
I don't know.
Is that an Instagram?
There is an Instagram link to some Instagram page. I don't want to click on it though.
Understandable.
Let's see what the BBC has to say. We're sorry, podcast listeners, if you understand that we have a rival known as Carl Bushby if you've listened to enough. I think it's episode 21.
Yeah.
We thought he was the most Omega guy alive, and then we found out he was not. He's a fake.
I mean, we had our job talk, and now we're having a little bit of an update while getting into, because we talked about country that he was going through.
Okay, so before Christmas, he reached the town of
Győr,
Hungary, a few days' walk from the Austrian border, and he hopes to reunite with his mother, Angela, at the family home in October. Speaking from Mexico.
where he retreats every few months in order to satisfy visa requirements. He's still going back to Mexico. Oh my gosh.
Oh, he should be back on his grind. He was supposed to come back to the Hungary-Austrian border in March. This thing needs wrapping up, but I have mixed feelings. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, because you've been lying.
It's going to be a hard stop, the end of a life. There is also uncertainty about what happens next. I wonder why, Bushby.
Why are they considering this such a big deal? He did. I mean, I understand that he's done a very long walk, but he keeps having to. I just don't understand. Why didn't
he said, if I had it my way, I would keep going, but the rules mean that I have to visa bounce. So you visa bounce for 5 years in Mexico, just partying.
I just don't get it. I lost a sponsor with a potential sponsor in the financial crash. What financial crash? When?
In 2008.
Okay, got it.
He returned to Mexico. Okay, in 2008, when a global financial crisis delayed plans to push through Serbia after crossing the Bering Strait 2 years earlier, he returned to Mexico and made it his temporary home. I lost a sponsor along with a potential sponsor in the crash. Mexico seemed the ideal place to base myself as we tried to get things moving. I ended up staying there 2 years.
You ended up staying 5.
No, that was 2 years the first time.
Sorry.
And all I need are t-shirts, shorts, and flip-flops. I also have a sponsor not too far away in the U.S. Bushby Hostby. Nope, there's Angela.
His mother.
Yep. Said he was resting and making final preparations prior to returning to Hungary. Then it's Germany, Belgium, France, and home. Over time, the daily distance walked has decreased.
It's gone.
Hey, there we go.
Dishwasher.
I've come down from 30 kilometers to
20, 25 a day.
20 to 25 a day. Oh my God. He walks so slow. He said he hoped to begin talks shortly with the operators of Channel Tunnel with a view of securing permission to walk along a service tunnel back to the UK. He walks so slow.
Bro, this is so...
I mean, we're talking he walks 12 to 16 miles a day.
We walk
at an
5 and 1. During our 8-hour workday, we're walking 10,000 steps.
I know. And like that's the thing is it's like,
and that's not even consistent walking.
No, and well I'm just thinking a regular walking pace of like 3.5 miles an hour is slow.
Yeah.
So if you're walking 3.5 miles an hour for 4 hours, You walk what he does in a day for his trip. He used to only walk 19 miles. You can get that done in under 6 hours. I mean, we are talking he can't be walking. He has to be walking like 4 or 5 hours a day and then just like chilling out.
He is 56.
Okay, but like I've come down from 30 kilometers a day. Like I understand if you're traversing through the jungle or some shit.
I'll get that. Okay.
Sure.
I'll give it that.
No, but like that's not what he's doing. We know he's not doing that stuff like that.
Yeah. I wonder if he still has that team with him whenever he was trying to cross.
The Caspian Sea or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that was our Bushby update.
So, Carrot Dome. Where are we at?
Afghanistan.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said Caradon Mountain or something like
No,
that.
the Kandahar Mountains.
Yeah, Carrot Mountain.
Okay. Yes. Indubitably. So, back in 2002, during Operation Enduring Freedom.
Enduring Freedom.
Okay, no, we're also going to take a break. Just because the U.S. had the funny, like, their operation titles for everything that we did in Afghanistan is like, it's so American.
I love it.
And okay.
OEFOI. What?
So yeah, you had Enduring Freedom Operations names USA. Here we go.
Enduring Freedom.
So yeah.
Followed by Operation Freedom's Sentinel.
Yes. And then you also had like Desert Storm, or yeah, Resolute Support Mission, Operation Anaconda, Operation Enduring Sentinel.
What is the point of these names?
I don't know, but they always make me laugh.
Enduring Sentinel.
Yeah, not to say that like our military is like to be made fun of or anything like that. It's just that like our naming scheme is so American and just feels like a bald eagle wrote them.
If you were to name a mission, what would you name it? Like you're going to do.
Oh, it's Operation Saber-Tooth Tiger.
Got it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, that's what I have to work with is the previous ones, and so like
Operation Woolly Mammoth.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, in 2002, we had a bit of we were working our way through Afghanistan looking for the weapons of mass destruction, the WMDs.
Got it.
This was before President Bush at the time would then get on an aircraft carrier with a banner that said mission accomplished and just be like, we won.
We did it.
Woo! You know?
Shooting the shotguns.
But back in 2002, now we were in the middle of Operation Enduring Freedom.
Okay. Which its purpose was what exactly?
Yeah.
Got it.
All right. And so during this time, we were trying to hunt down Al Qaeda and the Taliban and all of that. And
those are some pretty mountains.
They are. So here's the thing about the Kandahar Mountains. They reside on the southern portion of Afghanistan near the border with Pakistan.
Got it.
They're a pretty big mountain range, as you can kind of see the topography. They kind of stretch the southern portion kind of through in here.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this is the Kandahar Mountains are a pretty remote region. There's one U.S. air base that was really kind of you could get into there. It was called Bagram Air Force Base, and it was a difficult spot. I mean, like you were, if you were flying into Bagram, like you were probably going to take some fire or something like that.
Okay, so it was heavily.
It's a very remote region. It's difficult to get to, and it's not safe.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous
section. Okay.
So in 2002, during Operation Enduring Freedom, we were sending reconnaissance groups throughout the Kandahar mountain ranges trying to hunt down any kind of Taliban or Al Qaeda members, because you got to think mountain range, it's got caves, small remote village populations that if these ne'er-do-wells get in there, you know, they might, I don't know what else to call them.
That's fair.
If the ne'er-do-wells get there, they might start harassing the villagers because they need food and supplies and stuff like that. And so we were sending people through the mountain range to try and find any of those spots during that time. Now, from this point forward, the story is allegedly.
Got it.
This is all going to be allegedlys. During that time, one of the patrol groups realized they came up on this town pretty close to, like I said, Bagram Air Force Base, and they realized that the villagers were leaving a bunch of food and like offerings at the entrance to this cave.
A cave.
Okay. And so the reconnaissance crew believed, oh, this must be where some ne'er-do-wells are hiding. They went into the cave to try and sniff them out. They never came out of the cave.
These people never came out of the cave?
Nope, never came out of the cave. Lost total contact with their supervisors and their support and all the support staff from where they'd come from. And so then they sent out a second special ops team to try and find them.
Yeah.
Well, they get to the cave. When the special ops team gets there, they realize, oh my God, like, why is all of our munitions, like, why is all, like, a lot of their gear and stuff outside the cave? Like, what the hell's going on here? They went into the cave, and upon entering the cave, saw a 13-foot tall, now again, allegedly, a 13-foot tall, red-haired, pale-skinned, six-fingered, six-toed giant who was munching on one of their buddies. Or at least the remains of one of their buddies. It then became highly aggressive and decided that it wanted to now kill this second troop of people. Now, as the story goes, there was a soldier named Dan. Now, Dan, upon seeing the giant with six fingers and six toes, apparently also the giant had a spear in his hands. Dan decides, oh, I got to shoot this thing. So Dan starts running at the giant, firing his M4. And
a bolt-action rifle?
No, it's an M4. This is a fully automatic.
Why did I think there was a bolt-action?
We can Google that if you want.
I am curious now. Thank you.
Sure.
That helps my brain. Visual representations alongside auditory. Very helpful. Okay, that's not what I was expecting you to say. That's funny.
No, it's okay. It's a very common misconception to think the M4 carbine is bolt action, likely stemming from a combination of manual appearance, similarities to older weapon systems, and confusing depictions in media.
Manual appearance.
Because it has the manual charging hammer. To chamber the first round, you got to rack her in.
Can you show me a photo of the M4, please?
Historically, many carbines and early military rifles were bolt action or lever action, causing a mental association between the name carbine and manual operation.
Manual. Wow. Oh. But that looks like an AR.
Yeah.
Is it an AR base? Is that the idea?
No. That's the M4. There's your charging handle.
Okay.
So you throw your magazine in, slap that bad boy, and it goes thunk, and then you're ready to rock and roll.
And that's different from the AR because the AR has the other thing? I know we're talking about guns. I'm sorry, guys. This may get flagged.
No.
I'm just very curious. I'm not gun guy.
Not M2, M4. Primary difference is that the M4 is a military select fire carbine, automatic or burst, while the AR is a civilian semi-automatic rifle. The M4 features a shorter barrel and a collapsible stock, whereas ARs are typically use a 16-inch or longer barrel to comply with regulations. See how they're a little different? They're very similar.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time picking out all the differences, but I get the
M4
idea.
is smaller and can fire more rounds because you can just pull that trigger down and it'll keep going. The AR, every time you pull the trigger down, you got to let it go and then pull it again to get rounds.
But you can't make it automatic?
No,
Not allowed.
not allowed. I mean, okay, theoretically, under certain licensing, you
Loud,
can
but-
own an automatic weapon, but you have to get certain licensing to do that.
As a civilian, not allowed. We'll call it that.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Theoretically, a civilian, you can get a license to own an automatic weapon, but you do have to go through a lot of stuff to do that as a civilian. But yeah, the M4 is basically the lot more military tactical version, whereas the AR is more built for your enthusiast at home.
Okay. Understandable. Understandable.
So Dan starts running at the Giant, and so Dan's firing his M4 carbine, whereas the Giant has a giant spear.
Now, if Giant is 13 foot tall, Giant
Yes.
Spear is
Very big.
18?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, at least 13, right?
Because doesn't most average height men with spear probably is at least a foot to two taller. I'm thinking javelin kind of thing, but javelin is even a little bit different, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm sorry if my interrupting is bothering you.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I was typing while responding. Historically, the average spear for infantry generally measured 6 to 9 feet, with 7 to 8 feet often cited at most common length for a one-handed use in a shield wall. Specialized spears varied significantly, ranging from shorter 5-foot-long javelins to long two-handed pikes that could exceed 18 feet. So yeah,
Two-handed
typically
pike.
it'd be about a foot or two taller than you.
Got it.
Well, as Dan is running at the Giant firing, the Giant runs at Dan and speared Dan through the chest.
That's crazy.
Yep, so Dan gets skewered. Then all the other special ops guys go, OS, shoot it in the face.
That's
Because as they were watching Dan shoot it, they realized the bullets weren't really doing a whole lot
to its body.
to its body. So then, upon yelling, shoot it in the face, they then unfold. What unfolds then is reportedly 30 seconds of sustained fire where they basically decapitate the Giant
Whoa.
and bring it down.
Okay, good on them.
Yep. So Dan dies. R.I.P. Dan.
R.I.P. Dan.
And now the U.S. government has got possession of a Giant's body.
Oh.
Now, the story that I heard comes from a man named Timothy Alberino. He is relaying this story secondhand from a firsthand witness, not to the Giant slaying, but then what happens next. They then take the body to Bagram Air Force Base, where a pilot is called. He then flies down. He flies his C-130 loading plane. They load up the body. And while he's there on the plane, or like to pick up the, whenever they called that pilot in, he didn't know what he was picking up. He lands, and they had laid the Giant's body on a 9-foot pallet.
That's huge.
Put the Giant under a sheet. And the pilot, who was the man who originally told Timothy Alberino this story, then goes on to say, yeah, I could see his hands and his feet and his hair. He was in the fetal position, but all of that stuff was spilling out off of the pallet. So this Giant would have been about 13 feet tall. And so whenever you fly on any of these military planes, everything has to be weighed.
Yeah.
So that way they know how much fuel they're going to use and that kind of stuff. The Giant and the pallet together weighed 1,500 pounds. And so theoretically, that would mean the pallets are about 400. That means that Giant weighed about 1,100 pounds.
Whoa.
Yes, so we're talking 13 feet tall, 1,100 pounds.
How tall was that guy we did in episode 1 of this Giant series?
8 foot.
He was 8 foot and he weighed 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're talking... And so apparently this thing was solid muscle. Now, one of the most remarkable things about it was it had 6 fingers and 6 toes.
Right, which is allegedly a dominant trait, right?
Yes, that is a dominant trait in humans. But it is exceedingly rare, so it never happens. And had bright red hair.
Which is episode 2, the
Native Americans.
right.
And so
Okay.
And so this giant is slain, and it is then from Bagram Air Force Base flown off. And after that point, the pilot who was telling the story goes, I don't know where it ended up, but I think it ended up in Ohio at an Air Force base there.
Ohio.
Why the U.S. government wanted it, we don't know. But if that is true, theoretically, then the U.S. government does have possession of at least one giant body.
Yeah.
That comes from Afghanistan. And so if you were to go look into this whole situation, this is actually a local legend from the Afghanistan people that sounds incredibly similar to what we covered in episode 2/episode 1 with the Native American people. I can't remember which people it was off the top of my head, that also talked about cannibalistic red-headed giants.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty crazy.
So there has been no other experience with this.
No, there's other stories that come from this same time frame where other soldiers are running into giants or what they believe to be giants. Most of them won't actually. When I was listening to it, so Timothy Alberino is a man who is known as kind of an adventurer, explorer kind of guy.
Okay.
And he's got shows himself that you should go watch. Just look up Timothy Alberino. You'll find him.
Alberino.
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 Yep. Here, I can Google him if you want.
No, it's okay.
He looks like a real Chad.
A Giga Chad?
No, I wouldn't say Giga.
Just a Chad.
Timothy. I need to spell. Oh boy. Yep, there you go. See? This guy.
Yeah. Wow.
Y'all have kind of, now that I look at it, you'll kind of have similar vibes with the whole mustache goatee thing going on.
Hey.
He's kind of a modern Indiana Jones kind of a guy. He's got a lot of films. He's got a whole film series on this whole situation.
Really?
Yep. That he did some researching and some things like that. Yeah, he's a good dude. You should check him out.
Okay.
Anyways, he said that he's got a lot of government contacts and things like that. And he said that you can bring up aliens with these guys all day, those kinds of things. They'll chat and tell you all kinds of stuff.
Uh-huh.
He said the moment, though, that you bring up giants, all conversation shuts down. They clam up.
Not allowed to talk about it yet.
Not allowed to talk. They do not want to talk about it. Which then also creates a really weird situation whenever you go. So do you remember when Hillary Clinton's emails got leaked?
Yes.
So there was one really odd, there was a lot of odd ones about like spirit cooking and things like that in there. But it's specifically one to John Podesta. There was a really odd email where she was following up on the location of Gilgamesh's body. Do you know who Gilgamesh is?
Yeah, the demigod who wanted to be more connected to his people, so he went on a journey, right?
Yes. And so
at least kind of.
Yes. Now, surrounding Gilgamesh was like supposedly 12 to 15 feet tall, half god, half man.
Okay.
And I don't know if it ever said that he had 6 fingers or 6 toes, but theoretically Gilgamesh sounds exactly like a giant.
Yeah, like the one they just killed. And maybe it was nicknamed Gilgamesh because that was the only other reference they had.
No, why would they? What? No, you're not. No. Hold on. So, I'm not connecting those two things specifically.
Okay.
She was following up on where Gilgamesh's body was, because here's another fun fact for you. In 2001, right before 9/11, there was the Euphrates River dried up a bit more than it normally did, and it revealed some ruins that a exploratory archaeologist went and started digging up.
Okay.
Now, the reason that is significant, the Euphrates is in Iraq. And the reason it's significant is that Gilgamesh is said to be buried in the Euphrates River, that they built his tomb there so no one could get to it. This man, whenever he started digging up these ruins that he found in the river, he thought, oh my God, I might have found Gilgamesh's tomb.
Okay.
This could be the most significant discovery of the century.
Yeah.
Well, then like 4 months later, the Twin Towers blow up and the U.S. government goes to war with Iraq. All archaeology is shut down in Iraq because it's now an active war zone. Academics don't like getting shot at. I don't blame them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Guess where the U.S. government set up a black site for like a month and a half?
What's the black site?
No information in, no information out. It's just basically it's a place where they're doing stuff and no one is allowed to know what's going on.
Dead zone. Got it.
It's a dead zone. It's a black site.
The Euphrates River.
Exactly. And precisely where that man found those ruins.
Oh. Okay.
Add that on top of the fact that also it's reported that during everything that happened with Iraq, whenever they took one of the cities, there was a museum there. There is reportedly footage of them removing from that museum giant sarcophaguses or sarcophagi.
Like the stone ones that they found at the bottom of the Native American
Yes.
burial
And then
mound.
those just disappearing forever.
And
And now you have Hillary Clinton,
asking about
Secretary of State, asking, hey, where's
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh's body? The half god, half man giant.
more than likely giant.
Well, because also people believe that Gilgamesh is actually also Nimrod from the Bible.
He lived that long, you think?
Same guy. Different cultures recording him different ways.
Got it.
And if you go read the book of Enoch, Nimrod, through a series of, we'll call them trials, actually turned himself into this Nephilim giant. That he ascended.
A higher state of being.
Yes, he was the first transhuman. So this is how this all connects. Could it be that the reason the U.S. government is hiding the evidence of giants is because in reality, they're all occultists trying to become transhumans and transcend their humanity, such as Gilgamesh or Nimrod did?
He's saying our government's a cult?
I'm saying, what if there are portions of it that are? What if the whole thing that we have going on here is a situation where you've got a select group of people, and they need these bones because they need to be able to talk to the owners of these bones so that way they can ascend.
So they're dealing with witchcraft.
Yep. And so then that's why you would hide the evidence of giants. It's not about proving the Bible right. Because the thing about that is that's a silly argument, because then you would also be proving other portions of mythology, or what we call mythology and myth and legend. No, those are actually just historical facts.
Wait, why would this lead any credence to proving the Bible correct?
Because the Bible talks about giants.
Right, but why would they care about that?
Well, because, the government doesn't say necessarily that it is correct or not correct. But if then you were to prove the Bible correct about these things, then that would give Christians a lot bigger space to be like, see, this is the way, the truth, and the life. And then as far as I think you would agree, society at large is not Christian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of why society at large. I mean, it's a silly thing to think that our government is Christian. They kind of have almost a vested interest in keeping it not correct.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Academia does. So, but what would happen is if you revealed the existence of giants, well, all of a sudden all these myths and legends and the Bible and all these other things, all of a sudden they're spitting historical facts at you, not tall tales. Then what? And so that is why we're hiding giants and why we don't have giant bones.
I mean, we do. They're just...
That's just a working theory. I don't know. I stole that from Timothy. Tim? Do I call you Tim? Do I call you Timothy? I don't think you'll ever see this.
Timothy.
Mr. Alberino?
Mr. Alberino. Can I call you Al?
No, I don't want to call him Al. Can I call him Alf?
Okay. I feel like I have to do like a...
I'm spitting a lot of hot facts at you there. You gotta let that digest.
Yeah. He's got a cool vibe. He kind of looks like... This is no dig. Kind of looks like Guy Fieri, but without the frosted tips.
He's a lot more fit than Guy, but yeah.
Fit Guy Fieri. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, modern day Indiana Jones is great. The hat fits. The whole get up is really cool.
I feel like everyone tells him that his spirit animal is a wolf, but I feel like it's not.
What is it?
I don't know, but it's not a wolf. But I feel like he feel like that. Like people are like, oh yeah, he's a lone wolf, and I don't know. I don't know what to make of him.
Oh, he was on the Sean Ryan show.
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe I'll watch that.
Shout out Sean Ryan, good dude.
I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to understand with
I feel
all
like
this. Oh, go ahead.
his real vibe is like an alpaca. Look, I'm shooting from the hip on that one. I'll have to sit on it.
That's not very much you in that regard. You don't usually shoot from the hip when it comes to those spirit animals.
No, not typically.
Yeah. So I don't know how to recap all this because from episode 1 to episode 3 of this, there's a lot of confusing thoughts. I think the first word that I can think of is distrust. Bamboozled, maybe.
Not bamboozled.
I think it's like what I said at the end of the second episode of this. You got to find the truth. You got to go and search the truth. Figure it out for yourself. Do the research.
Be a big dog, mow your own lawn, learn how to eat.
Yeah. Do the right thing.
Just eat a Snickers. Be a normal guy.
Like limes, not lemons. Yeah, that's just all of this information is just so astonishing. I think I just have to take it in as it is and see what happens. It does make me think, as much as I think we talked about this 4 or 5 episodes ago when I watched that episode of Ninjas Are Butterflies, and how he was asking ChatGPT, what's the prediction for year 2026, and the reference was like, oh yeah, it's something historical. Something is going to be considered. Our government is going to say something about it being an alien or something of that effect, but in reality, it's something that's historical. It just kind of makes me think about that and how, if this is all a part of this select group of people's ideal to become higher sentient beings, It's sad that they're a part of an occult, but if that's the purpose and they're saying that it's something different, it would make sense that they would try their hardest to cover it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, isn't that kind of feel like what Brian Johnson is doing? He's trying to ascend.
Brian Johnson is trying to, I don't think he's necessarily trying to ascend. It doesn't everything that I have at least looked up on him doesn't look like he's trying to become a sentient being. I think he's just trying to
I think
live.
he already is a sentient being.
I think he's trying to live longer. He wants to outlive the normal lifespan. He wants to
conquer death.
He wants to blue zone this and in some way conquer death.
Transcending human capabilities.
Right, but then just go cryo.
Well, no, but you have to die to cryo.
Right, but the promise of the cryo is that you'll come back.
Yeah, but you have to die first. He's trying to not die.
He's trying to bypass the cryo.
He's bypassing cryo. He's trying to transcend death.
I don't know. I just question at what cost. Like, what's the point? Like,
I feel like a lot of these topics here recently have kind of bummed you out.
it's just, I guess they're just kind of sad. Like you're trying to do something that is, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have this viewpoint of life where the naturality of things is going to happen.
Okay.
You're going to die.
That there's like an eventuality to everything. And so like, does a lot of this just feel really futile and sad to you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It feels like you are wasting your time, your money, and your effort into something that, ultimately speaking, even outside of doing all of the money that you spend on it and all of the different new programs and, okay, maybe we're going to go occult this time, or maybe we're going to go whatever with it. You are missing out on the things that you could just be enjoying right here, right now. And just let it be what it is.
I see. So how are you feeling about giants? Think they're real? Think they're not? No, don't know what to think?
I'm in between right now. I'll state it like this. If giants are supposed to be real, and there's supposed to be a way in which humans can become giant or transcend, that's sad.
Okay, you don't like that.
I don't like that aspect. If giants are supposed to be real and they've been in hiding because it's not accepted in society,
okay,
that's sad.
Oh, you think we should accept giants?
I think if they are living, breathing creatures made, made in some sort of likeness of God. It's a creature that has been made. It's on this earth.
Okay, interesting.
Then we should cherish it.
Now, would this color your opinion of them if they are demon spawn?
Yes and no.
Okay, how would you feel about that if it was one of those things where this is Genesis 6 and they are the offspring of fallen angels? They're not made in the likeness of God.
So angels are not made in the likeness of God in general. Then.
Well, they are, but the apostate sons of God populated with women,
right? Came
to
down to
create
earth,
their own thing that is not human. Is not human,
right?
Does that color your opinion of them at all?
I mean, it makes me sad. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah,
like if that is true, if that is 100% reality, what happened? Angels came down to earth, populated with humankind, created bastardized humans in that sense. That's sad. That sucks.
Yeah.
I do still think, though, because of the initial thought that human is made in the image and likeness of God. Are we stating that angel is the same way? I don't know much
I would
about
say
angels
so.
in that
I would
sense.
say so.
If that's the case true as well, then it is something that God has created.
Well, God didn't make giants.
God didn't necessarily make giants, but the idea is that it comes from that same cloth, that same idea.
Sure.
That's where my brain goes. But if that's, I don't know. Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, I mean,
it does make it a little bit more concerning.
Yeah, we don't need to get into a theology debate about whether giants can be saved or not. Because I think is where this conversation's headed.
Yeah, I think ultimately, they'll have a second chance, but
I don't know. I do not know.
I don't know enough about angels nor demons, for that matter, to really state anything else beyond that. Yeah. Why? This is so different.
Yeah, these topics have been kind of bumming you out.
It's not that it's bumming. It's more of like bumming.
Giving your brain a real pounding.
Well, it's just making me. I guess I'm. I don't know. I go deep into the thinking quick about it.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, it's a difficult thing to understand because can they be saved? Do they want to be saved? The book of Enoch talks about that demons are actually the disembodied spirits of the dead giants. That's what demons are. And that fallen angels, or maybe the apostate sons of God, as Mr. Timothy would call them, that's a whole different thing.
Interesting.
In that these giants, they are constantly hungry, constantly thirsty, constantly lustful, and that's why they torture humanity and are constantly seeking a body, and that's why demons possess.
It's like the leech. Give is what they ask.
Yes. And so that is why also the demons are so keen to possess someone.
Because they want a body.
Because they want a body again.
They want a true body. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
If our government is actually conjuring spirits and trying to become transcended bodies by being embodied by
doing necromancy,
that's why are you walking on the side of Plura? What are you doing?
Here's the thing about this. I think pre the Epstein files, this is a crazy idea. Post reading some of the stuff in the Epstein files, you never know.
Were they doing necromancy?
They definitely. There's a lot of stuff in there that would imply that they were at least eating people.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I think my one word that would describe this whole concept of it all: sad.
Really sad.
Just sad.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Which sucks. Like that really sucks.
It does. It does suck.
But
it's not fun. Harold's not having fun.
I'm not here to serve them. I'm here to serve the Lord. So that's what I'm here for.
Fair enough. So, yeah, that's our story on the Kandahar giant that I stole from somebody else and I gave credit. Also, if you want to know more about this, there's a man named L.A. Marzulli. He's got 1 billion films on this. Just ask him. He's got so many films. Have I watched any of them? No. L.A., if you see this, I'd love to talk to you, dude. But I don't think you will because no one ever even watches our videos, and that's kind of fun. So maybe one day this will come back. Maybe that comment one day will come back to bite me. But yeah, also LA, I'm giving credit. So yeah, if you want to learn more about giants, I would go check out Timothy Alberino or LA Marzulli. Just put them in on YouTube. You'll get there eventually. I promise. So yeah, that's gonna, I think, do it for us for this episode. That has been our inspection on part 3 of Giants, Kandahar.
Yeah. Carrot Mountain. Yeah.
Yep, Carrot Mountain. Any parting thoughts other than sad / counts?
One count of sad, one count of slight confusion. I think it's just the whole. I guess my parting thought is Why can't people just be normal people? Why can't we just do normal things?
Just be a regular guy.
Just be a regular guy.
Just eat a Snickers.
Eat a Snickers. Mow your own lawn.
Don't buy a robot.
Come on, people. Learn to drive.
Yeah.
Drive well.
Stop driving bad.
Stop driving bad.
Nobody likes that.
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Twitter, though I don't know if the Twitter's even alive at this point. The guy that we had running that is gone. It's all his fault, too. If you don't, Tony promises for the next month to live tweet every single one of his intrusive thoughts.
That's a lot of thoughts, guys.
That's going to be rough for him. So yeah, that's been Septic Guys No Shit. And finally, the Harold Goose No Jumps Wisdom of the Day. Get on your drama, especially if it's 3 a.m.
Get on your drama.
So yeah, beloved customer, make sure to have a beautiful day and a wonderful day and go for a walk. And finally, make sure to check your chlorine, wipe your ass, don't flush any wet wipes, and we'll see you on your next inspection. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.